Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the Grow a Garden video. Today we have the new smithing update. I've done a ton of testing and discovered by far the absolute best and easiest way to obtain every single coal, as well as get yourself tons of those gem eggs so you can hopefully hatch yourself that diamond panther or that red mimic. And I have a ton more useful information for playing this event and just understanding its overall functionality. So if you enjoy this video, find it useful, just want to stay updated on all the best leaks, tips, tricks, and methods for Grow a Garden, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That being said, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Okay, I want to start by covering exactly what they added into this update, then I'll go a little more in depth on how you can take advantage of every single mechanic to make the most of the update. Now, first off, obviously we have the new smithing event. It's pretty straightforward. Basically, there are 4 different crafting tables where you can craft most of the event items. For example, you can go ahead and craft gears. You can see I already crafted some smithing treats, but there are a ton of other gears like the Thundal Bringer, the Smith Hammer of Harvest, which actually harvests all crops within a radius, and the Pet Shard Forger, which gives a pet a mutation. But then we also have a couple seeds here. None of these are really insane, so I'm not even probably going to bother crafting any of these. And we have a ton of cosmetics. The best one by far being the Horseshoe Magnet. This one is yet another cosmetic with an ability, and it is basically a pancake stack. Based on its description, it says it pulls pets towards it, but we'll have to actually craft one ourselves and test out just how good it is compared to the pancake stack, which I'll go ahead and do later on in this video. And last but definitely not least, we have the crafting pet station. This one is going to be the most important. It's going to be your main source of gem eggs, and trust me, they're kind of easier than you would expect to craft and obtain. But all you need is a common egg, 3 common coal, 1,000,000 shekels. Go ahead and craft it. It only takes 10 minutes. And then you can also craft the smithing dog. We'll talk about this. This pet is also going to be pretty useful, especially for those who don't have a ton of eggs. Basically, the entire time you're playing this event, you'll want to make sure you are crafting a ton of these gem eggs, because obviously inside of the gem eggs are quite possibly the best pets ever. Specifically, that diamond panther has a decent chance at aging up a pet every time you collect a plant with 12 or more mutations. So you can already see where that's going. Set up a bunch of coconuts, get a bunch of mutation pets, maybe some T-Rexes, and you can easily level up your pets and get them huge with elephants, just because of how easy it will be to level up your pets. But then there's also that ruby octopus, which also does have a decent ability. Basically mimics any non-cooldown based ability, which is still not horrible, especially for a pet that you can just hold in your inventory, and it'll basically act as a seal, stegosaurus, and axolotl, everything all combined in one. Now, to easily get your hands on a ton of these pets, make sure to check out today's sponsor. Trade Kitsune is an amazing Grow a Garden trading platform with tons of useful tools. They make it incredibly easy to trade with other players and track all pet values with their new Pets Value system. Each pet now has their own page with daily updated stats, trends, trading volume, and demand, making it a lot easier to understand what pets are permanently going up in value and what pets are just getting affected by events. And with their other features like a new event wiki, giving you everything you need to know about current events, as well as their pet weight and size calculator, anti-scam and player safety system, and incredibly useful trade posting and matching system, Trade Kitsune is the only Grow a Garden tool you will ever need to use, so definitely check it out in the link in the description. Now, lastly, there is the NPC in the middle. This is also pretty straightforward. You submit 1 fruit, submit 1 egg, submit 1 gear, and you get a random item reward, as well as a random crafting table advances its crafting by 10 seconds, and there is a small chance it will trigger a weather as well. Let's go ahead and submit a egg and submit a gear, and you'll see here I just got a common coal, and it's sped up by 10 seconds. But we'll go a little more in depth onto what exactly you should be submitting, and trust me, you don't have to submit some crazy stuff to get some crazy stuff back. Now, they also went ahead and added in a new digging minigame. Quick shop, you'll see it right in here. Same way that it worked in the Halloween event. You get a free dig every 3 or 4 minutes, and you just spend your time digging for a treasure, which gives decent rewards, but nothing too crazy. Oh, I actually just got a divine coal. That's actually not bad at all. Here are all the rewards you can get. You can get some gem eggs as well. But honestly, for the rewards that it gives, this is really not worth spending your time or your Robux. Definitely don't spend your Robux on this. But I guess if you get your free digs, might as well use them up and just see what you get. Although it's really not a great source of rewards. Now, we did also get a pet age breaker. I think this is their way of removing pets from the economy, especially people who have duped pets. But basically, you need a level 100 pet. Once you have a level 100 pet, you have the option to submit it and then sacrifice any extra of the same pet for 1 level each. up to a maximum of age 25, and I think the KG also does increase as well. If that's true, you should be able to get like a 25% KG boost. Don't take my word for that. It is possible it doesn't increase KG, but I feel like if you can go up 25 levels, you should also get the KG boost that you normally would with 25 levels. But that means instead of needing a 6.8 KG peacock for 15 seconds, you could possibly go much lower, which is pretty insane and will definitely drop the price of a ton of pets even more. And then we had some pretty crazy quality of life, most notably duplicate cosmetics now only take up one slot. So I went from having way more than 430 items to now only 150. That is incredibly useful. And they went ahead and renamed the OG sunflower to the legacy sunflower, with a brand new sunflower being added into the seed shop. And then obviously all the other changes are on screen there. Now let's talk a little more in depth about what you should be submitting and how you should be grinding this event. It's very simple. You can submit a gear, you can submit an egg, and you can submit a fruit. Now the rarity of the items that you get slightly depend on the rarity of the items you submit. We did have a loot table as well as some specific chances leaked, but it seems like these were altered before the official update release, just because, as you'll see, don't need that high rarity items to even get divine coals, which are supposedly the best item in the loot pool. But basically, depending on the rarity of the items you submit, you'll get a total combined points, and depending on your total combined points, you'll get a rarer chance to trigger a special weather. Some of these are really useful, like the smithing weather that gives 10 times crafting speed, but that is it. That is the only thing that the rarity of your items affect. In fact, for every item you submit, you do get a certain amount of points depending on the item's rarity, and you do get items from a specific loot table depending on the overall rarity points of those items. But all of the loot tables are the same, and as you'll see in a little bit, using even the most common items possible, you have the exact same chance at getting every single kind of coal, and it really is not that hard. That being said, the absolute best gear that you should be using, there's really no excuse not to use it, is going to be the harvesting tools. This is a guaranteed restock in the gear shop every time, and each stock that it shows in here actually gives you 10 uses, meaning 10 submissions for each stock in there. So right now there's 30 harvesting tools inside, and this really carries most of the rarity that you need. From there, use whatever eggs you have. I literally just use common eggs. As you can see here, I have over 1,700 from farming events, but if you don't have a ton of common eggs, use whatever other egg you have a ton of, possibly even spooky eggs if you have a ton of those, or now is 100% the time to start buying eggs from the pet egg shop every time that the shop restocks. And then for your crop, you can literally use any crop in the game. Like I mentioned, all of the loot tables for the coal are the same, so the only thing the rarity of your items are affecting is your chance of triggering a weather. So that's why using a harvesting tool, common egg, and strawberries or any plant will give you the same amount of chance at getting legendary and divine coals as using transcendent plants, mythical eggs, etc. Now they did go ahead and nerf this event as I was editing. Of course, they love to nerf events right before I'm about to get my video out. So now the common egg requires a legendary coal, but that's completely fine. The legendary coal is only about a 1 in 20 chance of submission. Using the gear that you chose, the egg that you chose, and then the fruit that you chose, you can just sit here for literally like a minute and easily get yourself a legendary coal along with all the common coal you need. So let's go ahead and actually do that, and I'll show you just how easy it is. There we go. We already got a divine coal, but obviously we need legendary. Like I told you, really not that hard to get these coals at all, no matter what rarity of items you're using. I'm not sure why they decided to make the chances all the same. And we actually just triggered a weather as well. And there's another divine coal. Wow, we are getting everything but legendary coal right now. There we go, legendary coal. So honestly, these coals are not that hard to get. That's why you use the lowest rarity items that you possibly can. And harvesting tool would not hurt just to up the rarity a little bit for the weathers to spawn. Now, once you have enough rare coal, you can then go ahead and start crafting a few smithing dogs and AFK with these if you don't want to spend the time submitting stuff to the middle to get a ton of common coal. But honestly, I'm probably just going to spend my time submitting stuff to the middle. Although each one of these smithing dogs does have a 10% chance every 5 minutes to dig up a coal. So it's not a horrible pet, especially if you're going to be AFKing. Just use those on your garden and you'll get a ton of coal for once you come back, which you can then use for crafting, obviously primarily crafting the gem egg. Now, as you are crafting, the most important thing is to use crafting pets. Now, orangutans are a decent option. They give you a 4% chance to not consume an item when you are putting it into the crafting. And then you can also use hamsters during the crafting process to speed up crafting. And then once the item is done, you can then go ahead and use the patchy dinosaur. I have a rainbow hatched one here. It's actually pretty insane. 27% chance to duplicate a crafted item. Each normal one gives you about a 7% chance at a low weight, low age. So obviously if you age these up, it's even a higher percent chance to duplicate the item crafted, which is going to be really, really good. And a full team of these will practically double the amount of gem eggs you are getting. So if you can get your hands on these pets, or if you already have them, definitely use those as well. Using the orangutans as you are starting crafting, using the hamsters during crafting, and using the patches once you are done crafting are going to greatly increase the efficiency and the amount of items you are getting. So putting that all together, the best overall strategy really to farm this event is going to be using harvesting tools as your gear, any egg, and then any fruit, and just submit them over and over again. Get yourself a ton of all the coals, but most importantly, a ton of common coals, and then use them to craft as many gem eggs as you possibly can, because that is where the value in this update is. The new pets are going to be worth quite a lot. And then obviously, as you're crafting, make sure you're using your patches and your other crafting pets. With these patches, it's pretty much a 100% chance to get an extra egg or an extra item. So whatever you're crafting, just try to have a full team of patches equipped. Obviously use toys and Grandmaster sprinklers if you need. Now, like I said, there is a smithing weather event, so if you really want to farm that smithing weather event, which gives a 10 times crafting speed, meaning you can craft a gem egg every 1 minute. Once you have enough common coals, I would then probably recommend using some high rarity plants, like some bone blossoms, which is the best rarity. Keep using your harvesting tool, and then maybe switch to some mythic eggs or legendary eggs if you really want to give yourself a best chance at getting that weather. Since in the common loot table, apparently there's only a 1% chance to trigger a weather, but on the best loot table, there is a 8% chance. That's really the only reason I would go ahead and use high rarity items, but that's really if you want to farm the smithing event just to get a ton more gem eggs a bit faster. But honestly, being able to craft one every 10 minutes and duplicating it with the patches is more than enough. In fact, as I was just submitting on my own, I just actually triggered the smithing storm event. So I'm going to go ahead and craft a ton of gem eggs myself. And that was only from using the low rarity items. There really isn't a horrible chance on its own. But as you can see here, these are crafting incredibly fast. Let me go ahead and equip my patches and we'll actually see how many eggs I can go ahead and craft. Not only did I get myself a few more divine coals while I was doing that, and obviously a lot more rare and common coals, I now have 10 extra gem eggs on top of the 12 that are already on my garden. Obviously, I'm going to wait for these to hatch and hatch them in a little bit and show you guys what I get. But first, I kind of want to test out a few of the new items inside of this event to see just how good they are. Okay, first I want to try the Smith Treat. This one lasts 10 minutes and apparently gives a big XP boost. So currently this pet is gaining about 1 XP a second. Go ahead and boost it. Oh, it lasts a lot more than 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. And now it gains about 3 XP a second. That is a 3 times XP boost. So that's actually not bad, especially with the other treats. Now I just want to see if it boosts the XP gained from pets. So I'm using my turtle right now. Let's put a toy on it and see if it gains more XP than it's supposed to. And no, it only gained 2,000. So it doesn't boost XP from pets, which is the same as all other treats. All right, I also went ahead and crafted the new Horseshoe Magnet. I actually got 2 once again because of the patches. So I'm curious to see if it works similar to the pancake stack and if it works with the pancake stack, because those would be 2 insane things. So as you can see, already the pets are coming to the magnet. So it looks like they do actually get drawn to it pretty well. Yeah, it seems to be pretty much the exact same as the pancake stack. The pets are kind of splitting between them. But what if I put them together? I feel like this means the pets should almost always stay here. And they're walking away a little bit, but for the most part, they are staying in this area. I definitely think this horseshoe is going to be a pretty good substitute for the pancake stack. And I think the abilities do work separately. So if you use them together, they will also be pretty good. But obviously, I feel like I have to test this out a little bit more. But just from the looks of it, this magnet is not too bad at all. Yeah, they are all grouping together. Okay, so I went ahead and got 12 of these gem eggs ready to hatch, obviously using my Nightmare Rainbow Hydra team. Let's go ahead and place down my 3 massive brontosauruses. Each one does 10%, so they obviously max out with only 3. And then I'm going to place down a bunch of kois because I do not want to lose eggs that I don't have to lose. We'll also go ahead and use a Grandmaster Sprinkler as well as small toys, and we should be ready to hatch. Hopefully I can get this panther. Here we go. Sapphire Macaw, not bad. It looks really cool. Let's keep going. So nothing too crazy. We got half of them to be recovered, which is pretty good. And then I can place down some more gem eggs and I'll start farming more with Hydra, start farming more eggs using the method I went over. Hopefully I can get myself that Diamond Panther really, really fast. But that's it. That's everything added in this update. The best items to submit to the NPC, the overall best strategy to farm the event, how some of the new items work, and just everything you could possibly want to know about the smithing update. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, or just want to stay updated on all the best leaks, tips, tricks, and methods for Grow Garden, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That being said, I hope you all have an amazing day and good luck gardening.